Welcome to Analytica Video Shorts, short videos showcasing individual topics in Analytica 5. Your host today, Lonnie Chrisman.
I'm putting together a new example model where I want to demonstrate how to plot data over a Google map. So I downloaded info on all of California's power plants from the California Natural Resources Agency right here. X and Y are latitude and longitude, which I'll need for plotting these over a map. Megawatts is the generation capacity of each power plant, and I'll use general fuel as fuel type. There's a lot of other data here also. I created this multi-choice pull-down for selecting a subset of fuel types. And using that selection, I pulled out these fields for the selected plants and put them in separate variables. They're all indexed by selected plant ID, which is a subset of all plant IDs. Notice latitude and longitude have the same index. So does fuel type and generation capacity in megawatts. Okay, so I'm going to create my map plot in the result graph for generation capacity. It starts out as a 1D line graph. I'll want to depict the other quantities on this graph, so I'll add them as comparison variables. I'll add fuel type, latitude, longitude. Okay. Now let's go to graph setup and make this a symbol only plot with variable symbol size, because I want a very symbol size to depict generation capacity. Okay, it already selected the symbol size role that I want. I'll change color to show fuel type. The horizontal axis should show longitude, and the vertical axis should show latitude. Cool, I can kind of see the shape of California here. Now I want to draw the Google map behind this data. You do that in the OnGraphDraw attribute in the object window. But right now the OnGraphDraw attribute isn't showing. To make it visible, go to the attributes dialog and put a check mark next to it. Okay, now it's showing. In the OnGraphDraw, I'll use a library function that already does the heavy lifting. So I need to add the library to the model. So go to Add Library, and I want the Google Maps from OnGraphShow library. I think it's best to link instead of embed. So now let's go back and fill in that OnGraphDraw attribute. The library function does its stuff in the before drawing phase. So let's uncheck after drawing and check before drawing. The expression to draw the map looks like this. Role changes equals OnDraw Google Map Canv info roles. Oh, like magic, the map just appeared. Let me explain this expression a bit. OnDraw Google Map is a function in that library that I added. The four other names that appear in this expression are local variables that the graphing engine supplies when it evaluates OnGraphDraw. Canv is a drawing canvas that you can draw to, and in fact the function draws an image on that canvas when it draws the map. Info is a data structure that provides general information about the graph layout and settings, and roles provides information about which information fills each graphing role. The function needs the graphing engine to make some changes to the X and Y scales to align the map correctly, and it communicates these changes to the graphing engine by changing the role changes variable. I don't know, I think I don't really like those grid lines over the map, so let's turn those off. You can draw a rectangle now to zoom. You can unzoom and then do it again. By the way, the actual area you get after zooming doesn't exactly match your selected rectangle, but instead it shows what the map uses that Google sends back after Analytica has asked it for your selected latitude and longitude. Anyway, now you can go over and select some other combinations of fuel type and explore the power plants of California. So what happens if you pivot the graph so that the axes are no longer latitude and longitude, like a graph of latitude versus generation capacity? It shows us a map of somewhere else in the world. It's giving the values on the axes to Google as latitude and longitude, but in this case, they obviously aren't those. So to avoid this weirdness, I can add some logic in OnGraphDraw to show the map only when latitude is used for the y-axis and longitude is used for the x-axis. I'll start by getting the source of the y-axis. This is among the information provided by the graphing engine in the roles variable. Similarly, I'll get the source for the x-axis. When pivoted correctly, in this case, y-source should be a handle to my latitude variable, and x-source should be a handle to my longitude variable. So the if makes sure that the OnDraw Google Map is called only if they are. So now, when we visit the other pivots, no graph is shown. Okay, there's one other condition I like to add, which is to test for phase equal 2, which means that we're in the before drawing phase. It's unnecessary here, but later I might add other annotations to this graph and enable the other drawing phases. So if this is in there, it avoids having the map drawn over our data if those get checked later. And there you have it. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.